Philadelphia and what Miami did. And then honestly, the more I think about it, I like what Miami did. But the only thing about Miami is they incomplete. And this is what kind of I was saying about you know, this is kind of what I was saying about getting Giannis. Miami got one of the best defensive individual players lineups. Like on paper, when they learn to play as a unit defensively, it's gonna hard to get points against Miami. Like Miami is more of a threat than the 76ers. Miami is just missing a scorer. You know what I'm saying? Miami missing somebody like Norman Powell, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. They missing like if they can get like DeMar DeRozan, if they can get a Zach LaVine, but they would need both of them to be honest with you. Then when you look at their roster, they would need like somebody come off the bench and get them a bucket, like who'll score. They got Jovic but they need people that can just get them a bucket, on the outside and they can shoot. Davion Mitchell shot the ball at 40% last year from three. Wiggins shot about 40% from three last year. So in theory, Wiggins can kind of be that guy, but he just ain't been that guy in the league. Like he's supposed to be that guy that can really be 20 points. What you see like Scotty Barnes doing and K doing without the facilitation, that's kind of supposed to be Andrew Wiggins. He never really lived up to that bill. So they need a scorer. You know what I'm saying? So they need two of them. They need a guy like Monk off the bench, and then they need a guy like Powell. So that's what Miami falls short. But the way they're gonna be able to defend is gonna be nasty. If they can generate offense, somebody can generate offense from the perimeter for them as far as get their own. That's the one team that I'm scared of. When I talk about Philadelphia, I'm not worried, bro. It's they said they got 6 clutch sports athletes on that team. So they're about to fuck up EJ Escom. They're gonna fuck up Tyrese Maxey. And the whole identity is to mess up Jaylen Brown and blame him for this. People act like they ain't seen this LeBron show before, where they place the blame on somebody else. LeBron 40 years old, bro. Philadelphia should have stayed away from this. They should have built with Maxey, built with Escom. And the crazy thing about Maxey and Escom is they still figuring it out as a duo, and they haven't really played a lot with Joel Embiid. Then you throw in Jaylen Brown, that already kind of like, okay, how is that gonna work with Maxey and Escom? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? Then you throw in LeBron, you complicated some more. So I said, man, when you look at the teams that's the best. The Knicks, the Pistons, the Cavs. I believe James Harden will be brought back. I know he caught a case or something. The Raptors, Orlando. Those are the Atlanta. Those are the teams that you're gonna be looking at. I promise you. Atlanta, Orlando, Toronto is the teams that's with or without Kyrie or Kawhi. Only thing that's really holding Toronto back, other than Brandon Ingram's blunder, is that big fella. They need a more mobile center. If they can get a more center that can more mobile than the guy that they got from the Spurs, they're gonna be good. Now I know people talking about, well, CJ, what you think about the Pacers? I just don't like how they stripped their team down. It didn't make no sense, to be honest with me. I don't know. Maybe Benedict Mathurin is a problem behind the scenes, but it didn't make a lot of sense to me. That you get rid of Benedict Mathurin and then you get rid of Miles Turner and you bring in Zubac. That didn't make sense to me because Tyrese Halliburton's like superpower is getting up and down the floor. That's one of his super powers. Pace. And then you get Zubac, who don't get up and down the floor like that. So he slowed him down. So you talking about Nimbar, Neesmith, Pascal Siakam. They're at their best when they getting up and down the floor. You know what I'm saying? You get Zubac, like, come on. Like, they got to find a big fella who can get up and down the floor with them. But, yeah, they got a good team. They're going to be right there. They're going to be defensively good. Not sure how much, how long, it's going to take another year or two for Halliburton to really recover. But they'll be in the thick of things as well, too, I believe. But I think Charlotte might be another team that might surprise. Washington, I think they got some things to figure out there. Anthony Davis really don't want to be there. Don't be surprised if they don't try to get him to Philly. He don't want to be there. The Pacers will probably be in the mix depending on Holland Barton. If they don't do well, they're gonna sell. Don't be surprised if they fall. They don't sell. Like I said, Miami, they're gonna be one of the best defensive teams. I mean, they're gonna be just in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Just defensively, they're gonna be there. Charlotte got rid of some bad apples. I believe they're gonna be one of the fastest risers this year. I'm gonna tell you this: Charlotte, Orlando, Atlanta, somebody gonna rise up pretty high. One of them gonna be a 55, 50, 53, 55 plus win team. I can tell you that right now. But as far as the real threats to the Pistons, even as constructed, is New York, is Cleveland. I think the growth of Toronto, the growth of Atlanta, the growth of Orlando, that, depend on who healthy, that's gonna be interesting. They're gonna be adversaries too. But when I look at Philly, I just don't see I just don't see how they're gonna move as a unit. I don't see it. Who's gonna, Tyrese Maxey is a scoring guard. He's not a guy, he's more of a guy scorer. He's not a spot up shooter. Eskim he can spot up and shoot, but he's more of that rhythm, get a bucket guy, good defensively. Why would you want to move him on the bench to KCP? He had a great rookie year, and then you bring him off the bench. You know what I'm saying? That's not like, come on. Then you got Jaylen Brown. Him and LeBron don't get along. So how does that work with him and LeBron? How does that work? So, no, y'all might just see a bunch of players and like, oh, it's gonna be great. I don't see how it's gonna work. Are they gonna run an offense that creates scoring opportunities? There's too many guys that's, who gonna be, too many guys. I don't get it, but I don't see how it works. If Joel Embiid was the guy that he once was and they can play through him, that might bring some stability. But then, like I said, how does it work? Who's gonna run the offense? Come on. So you're gonna just ask Eskim to who was Tyrese Maxey's ace last year. You're gonna just ask him to be a 3-and-D guy at 21, 22 years old, whatever old he is. Then you're gonna ask, just hear me out. Then you're gonna ask Jaylen Brown to be the dirty work guy. Him and Eskim gonna be the guys that's the dirty work guys. Y'all gonna pick up everybody defensively. Y'all gonna do the dirty work. Y'all gonna be 3-and-D niggas. Like that's what LeBron is gonna kind of, their offense is gonna run through LeBron and Joel when they're healthy, and Maxey is kind of gonna be like his Kyrie. I'm just from a basketball standpoint of view, bro. Do y'all see that happening? A guy in Jaylen Brown, who's the best two-way player in the league, and Eskim, who was one of the hottest rookies last year, they're gonna be our garbage guys. They're gonna do all that step back that Chris Bosh did in Miami when he was a 25-10 guy. Now he's just a cleanup guy. That's what they're gonna be asking the MVP candidate and Jaylen Brown to do next year. A guy that was almost rookie of the year, that's what they're gonna ask him to do. They're gonna ask Tyrese Maxey, who finally got the keys to the 76ers, to hey man, we gonna give a copy of the key. We're gonna put the real key in the safe. We're gonna let LeBron, get the little copy key for a year. So you're asking this dude who is his team to take a backseat to LeBron. Do y'all really look at it that way? Or y'all just think, oh man, they got 5 really good players and they just gonna figure it out? Okay, nigga. Y'all said that about Miami. Y'all say that, and when he went to LA, it never happened. He threw Anthony Davis under the bus. He threw Lonzo Ball and them out of there. He threw Kyle Kuzma the fuck out of there. He threw Brandon Ingram up out of there. He got AD, threw AD the fuck up, backstab at AD, threw him up out of there. Really wanted to throw Luka the fuck up out of there, but they wasn't doing that. Come on. Came back to Cleveland, threw Wiggins the fuck up out of there for Kevin Love, destroyed Kevin Love's career. Kevin Love wasn't the same guy that he was in Minnesota. Alienated Kyrie. Kyrie got the hell up out of there. Got Deion Waiters the hell up out of there. Y'all forget. Got David Blatt the hell up out of there because he wanted him to play defense. Y'all think LeBron is going to change? That's why he's no longer in New York. In LA. because he didn't want to stay. He was in Luka way. He was in Austin Reeves way. But y'all have this imagination that when LeBron do super teams, it goes, no, somebody must die. Somebody's career must die. Somebody must sacrifice. And God bless Chris Bosh's heart because he sacrificed. God bless Dwayne Wade heart. He was already a finals MVP. He sacrificed. Tyrese Maxey ain't got none of that. VJ Exum ain't got none of that. And this ain't a broke down Dwayne Wade. You know what I'm saying? This is Jaylen Brown who feeling himself. And then don't say, Joel Embiid, a little bit healthy. That's another ego you got to. Hey, like I said, I like where the Pistons at in the East, even if they don't make another move. Now, are they championship contenders? No, I don't think they got enough to beat the Spurs. But if they're able to add a Zach LaVine or another scorer, and they're able to keep Jalen Duren and find somebody that's just as they're gonna be tough to beat, bro. But then again, we also got to factor in the fact that somebody develops. So you're hoping that Ron or him develop, but I don't think anybody believe that's gonna happen this offseason. So if I'm being honest with you, they get LaVine. I like them to run through the East if they got to make it work. So it's gonna be interesting.